Hello everyone, this is Dr. Tina Mims, and I'm going to talk to you about what markup is and where markup can take place, okay? And I'm also going to say how markup can be configured, what it can be based upon. All right, so I want to accomplish those three things in these three little slides, okay? The first slide, obviously, is just to explain what's markup. Markup is simply this. It's the dollar difference between the selling price less the cost to whomever is selling. Okay? Now, the cost can be incurred by retailers if they're selling to us. The cost can be incurred by wholesalers if they're selling to the retailer. And the cost can be, actually, the cost of the wholesaler is based on what the manufacturer's sales price is. Okay? So let's take another look at this. I've got this little legend here, so I'm going to use the capital SP for selling price, C for cost, MU for markup, and percent and dollar as they normally would be used. Okay? So we've got a manufacturer, and they know their costs. They've got cost of raw materials, they've got direct labor costs, they've got sales costs, because they need a sales force to sell their stuff to wholesalers, also known as intermediaries. And there may be other intermediaries. I've just really kind of slimmed this channel down to talk easily about these channel members. So the manufacturer, if they know all their costs, they may say, I want to mark up based on all my costs when I sell to the wholesaler. Okay? So I may have a certain percentage markup on cost, or MUC, so that I say, I might want a 30% markup on all of my costs when I sell to my wholesaler. And then the wholesaler who purchases a certain amount from a manufacturer, obviously they've got their cost that they incurred buying from the manufacturer. Then the wholesaler has fixed overhead like racks and trucks and storage and stuff. And then they also have a sales force because they're selling to the retailers. Okay? So therefore, the costs incurred by the wholesaler may be the basis for the wholesaler to mark up MUC percentage to retailers. And then finally, the retailers, they've got the cost of what happened when they spent stuff to buy from the wholesaler. Okay? Then they add their sales force and all their fixed overhead, so that when they sell to us, the end user, they may still have a percentage markup on cost to get to us. And of course, our cost is what we pay for. Okay? Now I want you to pause this and think about this again, because this is a markup on cost illustration. The cost by the manufacturer and a percentage markup on their cost to get to the wholesaler to buy things. Then the wholesaler has all of their costs and may expect a certain percentage markup on cost to cover their needs to sell to the retailer. And then the retailer has all of their costs that they incur that they may expect a certain percentage markup on cost, so that they know what the selling price to us is, which is of course our cost. Okay? Now let's think about this differently. Let's think about this as marking up on the sales price. Okay, I have the same legend here, but let's think about this. The selling price is usually attached to some minimum purchase sold by the wholesaler. Could be a rack, could be a pallet, because let's face it, they're manufacturing more than just like one tortilla at a time. If it's Mission Foods, there used to be a customer of mine, they're manufacturing tens of thousands of tortillas a minute, right? So that selling price becomes the wholesaler's cost, doesn't it? Okay, so the manufacturer may say, manufacturer, I'm going to make a certain percentage markup on my sales price to the wholesaler. The wholesaler has established some selling price because they're going to want also the retailers to take a bundle of things, right, that gets received in pallets. So the wholesaler may say, I want to mark up on my selling price to the retailer. And the retailer buys from the wholesaler and then says, I want to make a markup on my selling price on each individual item to the end customer. And the sales price is, of course, what we pay. So you might want to pause and think about this, because if you think about the difference between a markup on cost and a markup on sales price, they're both achieving the same goal. This pricing method, whether it's markup on cost or markup on sales price, achieves the goal of generating revenue at all members of the channel. I hope you find this a little bit helpful.